Greetings, peace, love, and wellness, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. I am Samari, and today's topic, trigger warning, I will discuss how I healed myself after a sexual assault. This is a vulnerable subject and a vulnerable topic, but I feel sharing my story can also help other women who have experienced the same situation in their life and how that they are not the victims and they can liberate themselves after something like this, something traumatic has happened to them. This happened to me a couple years ago from someone who was, I consider, a mentor, an elder in the healing community. I allow myself feeling like I could trust this person, and it did not go that way. And after the assault happened, and I was scared. I watch Special Victims all the time, Law and Order, and I just always figured in my mind I would be prepared if something ever happened to me like that. But when you actually experience it firsthand, you can totally understand how the women just shut down after that because I found myself in a functioning depression after it happened. I was able to confront him the next day about it, about because originally I was scared. I mean, just ran home and didn't tell nobody. And then I talked to another person who was like a mentor, and a person who was a mentor was like, "Oh, you should put them on the internet and blast them out and confront that person." And I didn't think that was the right route either because I was afraid. And then I was like, a lot of people looked at this person as a guru, elder in the community. And I was like, nobody's going to believe me. And there's going to be a whole kerfuffle, and I don't want to ruin his reputation. And there was just a whole bunch of things in my mind why I didn't want to take that route at the jump. Um, but as time went on, oh no, when I spoke to him, he apologized, right? But it was a victim blaming apology. His excuse was that, oh, my presentation on the internet, well, I seem like a very fiery, actionary person. I'm very beautiful and sexy, so it's just a natural attraction, and so that wasn't the correct answer. But in my mind, because I was a healer, and my thoughts, okay, you're a healer, so you can get past that. You can forgive him. You can move on and just act like nothing happened. You're okay. You're not dead, right? So I excuse that. I made that excuse for myself. And as time went on, I was functioning depressive. Like I was functioning in depression. And I didn't know I was in depression because I was getting up, going to work, doing my job, healing people, giving reads, and I was still functioning, but internally I wasn't functioning. You know, I was doing self harm to myself because I started constantly working out from sun up to sundown to build that strength, like so I wouldn't feel vulnerable again. Like nobody gonna hurt me because I'm gonna be strong, I'm gonna be built. I'm gonna show my power. And then when I did post yoga videos and pictures, I was always in strong, powerful poses. No more just natural yoga poses that people appear to be seeming sexy. I just was like, no, I want to go do headstands. I'm going to do power stank things that nobody else can do because I want to show and assert my authority, so I won't be victimized. But that actually wasn't healing myself. That was actually just projection, right? So it was like a defense mechanism, and it wasn't healing me because I didn't sit with it. I didn't address it for myself. Even though I confronted him and I didn't like the answer, I just internalized it all, and I didn't give myself the space to grieve about it. And it also was a trigger from childhood because I didn't, I had a lot of siblings, so I didn't receive a lot of nurturing support. Like when it happened, and I told a couple people, I never got the hug, and nobody told me, "Oh, it's okay, it wasn't your fault," or none of that came. So I didn't really know how to self nurture and self soothe at that time, right? Because it happened to me. So um, as time went on, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and getting stronger in me. And I'm not a crier, so I never knew how to self soothe as a child. I always let stuff build up and explode. So I didn't know how to self-soothe, and it was just growing bigger and bigger inside of me. And my only outlet was working out. So God set me down because I was working out so hard and doing yoga so hard. I end up popping my groin. So you can't stretch, you can't move. Literally for it took me down for like 6 to 8 months. It was very painful to say the least. And so in that time of sitting down, did I begin to feel my emotions? Did I begin to see that my inner child was wounded from what happened? Even though it happened one time and that person apologized, and me, I was holding myself as a mental captive by telling myself it was okay and I ain't worried about it, it's over, because I literally was still working in the same environment as the person who assaulted me. I was still um, being around this person because by me being a healer, that person a healer. So sometimes we will end up in the same event or the same space, Um, and I was just like, oh, it's okay. I'm not gonna focus on it. Or I would try to literally avoid that person. Like I would work it like and then get out the door. Like after my doing whatever I was doing, I would be out the door and where that person wouldn't have time to see me or something like that, until it got to the point where spirit was like, no, you need to see that you're still wounded about the situation, because the last time I was at an event that that person was in, they was like, oh, everybody got to get together and take a picture or whatever. And, and I'm like, oh, okay, like in the back of my mind, like, oh, I don't want to see this person. So I have to get in the picture. And so in the midst of the picture, they was like, oh, we can get close, but don't get too touchy. Then all of a sudden, a billion and one jokes came out this person's mouth about touching people, about, oh, don't touch me there, and don't do this, and don't do that. And that totally triggered me, because I'm like, so you think it's a joke, though? And I was like, everyone, if some people is giggling, and because this person, they think this person is joking. But literally, when the incident happened, I had told that person like 2 to 3 times, like, no, 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 no. And that person still continued to not allow my voice to be heard. So I was like, that triggered me and put me back. Like I had did so much work, and it put me back, because I'm like, so does these people around me know what happened? Did he tell these people? So in my mind, my insecurities, my trauma started acting up. And so God was like, yeah, see, this is, you're not healed, baby. Like, baby, you're not healed. You still gotta go within. You gotta see, nurture yourself. So it took me some time. I've had to take some time out, take myself out of the internet, go within, meditate, and I actually created this journal. And the process of healing myself, I had to realize where the triggers lie. And some of the triggers lie from childhood. And through this process of healing myself, through this process of understanding that this wound that happened to me was beyond just something on the surface level that happened to me. It was something that needed to be healed from, knowing that my voice mattered, knowing that I need to know how to self nurture that. I'm a Cancer moon. So a lot of times when you are a Cancer moon, you end up born in a family where there is no nurturing parent. Or the reason, because my parents died when I was a teenager. So I didn't get a lot of the nurturing that I needed. And we were living in poverty. So I didn't get a lot of the nurturing things that I needed as a child and growing up into adult. So all I knew how to do was pour it into other people. So I'm a great mother. I poured all my love and nurture to my siblings, my children, being a healer. I poured and poured and poured and poured. And then when I needed my nurturing, my cup was empty, because that person who victimized me took the last of it, and I didn't know how to replenish my cup. So by me doing the internal work and journaling for myself, these questions came up, and these things came up. These things from childhood came up, and then it helped me to realize, like, oh my God, it's beyond that. It's like, it's something deep. Like I've been sitting here functioning for a whole year and not realizing that I'm gonna explode on the inside. I'm gonna turn to these people that they're gonna put inside a mental home, because you can't tap into yourself, because you feel everybody's victimizing you. And then also at the same time, God had brought in some friends, some friends that I had knew from before. We was in a spiritual group together, and they just end up gravitating back to me, and we end up going out, and then we started sharing stories with each other. And then the more that we became friends, the more it was like they was tearing down the walls that I had created within myself, because I shut everybody out, and they helped me be vulnerable with myself, and helped me be vulnerable in the situation, about the situation. And I was able to share my story with them. And it's great that one of the friends, she's a therapist, and she's a shamanic medicine woman. So I have sat down with her and participated in medicine ceremonies with her a couple times, and a couple of medicine ceremonies with myself, and that helped me too. That helped me to purge all those things that I felt that I had to build up the walls about. It helped me purge those things that I felt that I was afraid of to look at. And at the same time, I also, in a process to help me, I had to create my own affirmation cards. And this was to affirm back into my life the things that I felt God took it from me. So I had to rebuild my self esteem, rebuild my courage, rebuild my life on the inside to be able to radiate on the outside. So I had to take that time out for myself. And once my body healed, I was able to get back into practicing yoga. I was doing a lot of those womb healing poses for myself. I still didn't really put it on the internet, but I did it for myself. I went back into, hermit mode, and every day woke up before the sun came up at 5 a.m. and started doing the yoga poses just to sit with myself. And between 4 and 6 a.m., that is one of the best times for you to tune into your vibration, to tap into your ceridium, I think it's called. It's like the vibration, the energy is so much different when before the sunrise, before everything is in motion. And I was doing that. And I was practicing my yoga, and I was doing womb healing chants, and my affirmations, and listening to soft music. And then I started to feel it. I started to feel more courageous. I started feeling safe to be back on the internet. I started feeling safe to actually date again, or have even opened myself up to relationship, because for a long time, for that time when I was wounded, I couldn't have a healthy relationship with a man, because I felt that every man just wanted to have sex. Like every man just wanted to victimize me and just use me for my body, which it wasn't true, because in the process when I was wounded, I did meet a couple of nice guys, and they probably would have been perfect men for me, but I couldn't see past the wounds. Like in my mind, I'm like, no, they seeing this sexy body, they seeing the flesh, you know what I'm saying? I want them to see my heart. And so I pushed them people out of my life. But at that time, it is better, to me, it's better to actually do the healing work before you jump into a relationship, because your wounds will be constantly be triggered. Because that means you still got to be intimate with a person when you don't even feel happy with yourself down there. Like it's wounded, and you want to just go up in there, you know, not to be joking about it, but this is serious. Like that is why I felt like, no, I mean, you a good person. I feel like you decent, but I just can't. I'm not open to. I can't. I can't give you that love that I even can't give it myself. So like I said, these are some of the tools that I use. It is great to have a support system, someone that you could talk to about it, some women who won't judge you, some women who will actually nurture and love upon you and hug you and dance with you. Like me and my sisters, we danced, we went hiking, and in the middle of hiking, we just started dancing and listening to music. And then, some people walking past like, what they doing? But we were just loving on ourselves, freeing ourselves, so it's a great method to have a support system of friends. It is great to have yourself a journal. And if you need a journal, because this journal has several prompts in it, and affirmations and quotes and different tools that could help you look at yourself and release those traumatic things in your life. Also, again, with my affirmation cards, it can help you affirm back your power, affirm back your strength, pour into yourself. And if you don't want to use either one of those tools, journal for yourself. Listen to positive affirmations, listen to high vibrational music, use yoga, use meditation. Meditation definitely, because it grounds you back into your body to let you shut out those self doubt, low self esteem talking, victimizing talking. And that's the reason why I made this video, because it's not about that person anymore. Because I'm not thinking about that person anymore. It gave me my voice back. Because when I told that person 3 or 4 times not to do it and they still do it, it took my voice away. It made me feel like I didn't have the power to say what I want done to my body. So that was the main point, was getting my own voice back, giving my own authority back. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. I'll be more sharing more videos about different things that I have learned through my years of just living. And we all have a story to share through the different things we have experienced. So I hope everyone have a beautiful day. Until next time, peace, love, and wellness.